Marriage crisis. Forget the royal family. Harry's tell-all is stirring up trouble at home with Meghan Markle. Sussexes' secret tensions. Hello and a very warm welcome to Kate Middleton and the Queen News Channel. So Harry claims that he cut 400 pages from the book. He said it could have been 2 books. He said that in a January 13th interview, and he added that he held back the most explosive stories. It's pretty difficult to imagine them forgiving Harry as things stand now. Even Harry's wife, Meghan, apparently was shocked by some of the secrets he shared, according to a source. The source continued, saying she's always supportive of him, but behind closed doors, the backlash from the book has caused some tension. Meghan's worst fear is that Harry's loose lips could blow up everything they've worked so hard to achieve in California and tarnish their brand. But the ironic thing is apparently this memoir was Meghan's idea in the first place. The source says she encouraged him to write about his journey because she thought it would help him process his emotions from losing his mother and all that he went through at the hands of the monarchy. She also wanted him to tell their love story, of course. Well, Harry did deliver that and so much more. Harry got carried away, according to this source, noting that the sly references to their sex life and a frank description of his frostbitten penis was mortifying to Meghan, especially because he keeps getting asked about them in interviews about the book. And as for the way Harry attacked his family, especially his older brother William, Meghan questioned if Harry crossed the line, according to the source. She also doesn't really have any issues with Charles, and yet Harry was pretty cruel toward him. But the important thing here is after years of being vilified in the media, Meghan knows how the system works, according to this source. She gets blamed every time Harry goes against the royals, no matter how often he insists he makes his own decisions. It's no different with the book. Now, Meghan made a point to stay away from the promotional press that Harry did, but Meghan is actually planning on writing her story in her own words, according to an insider, to set the record straight. And supposedly that was what Harry was trying to do with Spare, but instead it stirred up so much drama, says the source. And while Meghan did not want to tell her husband, "I told you so," the source says they also had a discussion in which he reluctantly agreed not to drop any more major truth bombs. But who knows if that will last? Despite the potential for collateral damage, he's itching to spill more secrets. Well, obviously, Harry's just wanting some attention for himself. According to Harry, he feels good about sharing himself with the entire world. He wants to show people how mature he really is inside of his little shell. But in doing so, Harry is revealing who he really is. He's able to share his wants, his feelings, his needs, and his desires with complete strangers, but then he turns around and ignores both family and friends. He crosses so many lines by letting everybody into his circle of trust without hesitating. Harry really is an open book, and maybe he should think twice about that. The conflict starts with the things he says about his family, his wife, and his drug and alcohol abuse, too. He self-medicates using illegal substances. Harry is ruining himself with people he barely even knows. He's hanging out with drug dealers, random strangers, and he's doing some very unsafe things. And this is the stuff that Harry wants to announce to everybody? Now, Harry is a person with some narcissistic tendencies, and clearly he's not well. He has this mask to try to trick people into believing that he's exactly like all of us. And now Harry just wears a mask of hatred in public. Harry is such a two-faced person. His little temper tantrums, his anger problems, and his judgments are on full display wherever he happens to go. So the book is focused on the man-child he is today. But by reading what he has to say, by listening to him speak, and by observing his little fits, we can see that he is a very troubled person. He is not a warrior at all. Harry's a traitor to his country, the military, and even his own family. Harry's not a man, I'm sorry. He's like a little baby, and he really requires constant supervision, and he always needs attention. Harry is an idiot, and people are laughing at his book now. Nobody can take him seriously. So honestly, I don't believe that anything less than King Charles and Prince William groveling before the two of them would be enough for Meghan and Harry. And if that were to occur, I would imagine immediately there would be a whole new collection of events for which the royal family supposedly would need to apologize. That's because Meghan and Harry are not sane people. They are out for blood, and they're not going to stop until they get what they want. So you know what? Cut off the head of the snake and just put the whole mess behind you. That would be the best approach in this situation. People with personality disorders like Meghan Markle have their own very rigid and very abnormal way of thinking. And people who are not very smart like Harry depend heavily on emotional processing. So Harry is easily persuaded, and he also thinks just because he feels something, that is the truth. And you know what? I don't even think they know what they're after. Narcissists don't usually plan ahead unless they're the Machiavellian type. They really operate on a need to basis. And then people like Harry, who are simply not very smart, can't really understand or articulate what it is they want. Harry has given us two perfect examples of that. The first example was when he complained to Oprah that after a few phone calls, Charles told him to put everything in writing. And the other example came recently when Harry said the ball's in their court. On both of these occasions, Harry wants to be made an offer. He doesn't want to have to dictate the terms. So, of course, Harry cannot be clear in negotiations because he doesn't really know what he wants. He just wants them to offer him something, and if his gut says that it's okay, he'll go with it. But if his gut says no, oh, well, it's over. Nothing is going to be good enough ever, though, because no apology, however genuine it is, can erase the past and turn everything to black and white. And Harry does not see shades of gray. Everything has to be black and white for him. See, the problem with negotiating with Harry is he's always going to move the goalpost. Once you give him what he says he wants, oh, it's not going to be good enough. He's going to want something else. The only way to deal with these kinds of people is to state your boundaries firmly. And you've got to be very clear about the consequences will be if somebody crosses your boundaries. So basically, one more peep out of you against the family and your titles are going to be gone. Or they could just disengage. William will do whatever it takes to protect his family. And Harry really had the same situation for his family. He could have had round the clock security. Running off to America was not something that was good for his family. It was not going to help with their protection. In fact, it just put them in even more danger. And if the Taliban decides they want to go after Harry, oh, they will. Now, Harry has always been like that, but when he walked away from the protection of the palace, we could see his full narcissism on display for everyone. In his book, he says that he hit his bodyguard. I mean, who does a thing like that? Who dares to lay their hands on other people, especially people who are working for them? Oh, I'll tell you who, narcissists. Harry reveals so many entitled things in that book and in the interviews too. It's shocking, and Harry doesn't even think twice about what he's saying. He is a man in his 30s using his wife's laughing gas while she's trying to have a baby. I mean, even if this story is not true, still, why would he have told a story like that? And Harry was also such a misogynist in the way that he portrayed losing his virginity. And the fact then that he made a fun of a teacher at his school, what a nasty individual, and bragged about killing members of the Taliban. And also, of course, whined that his father stopped giving him money when he was a grown man. And it seems like Harry still believes that he is entitled to taxpayer funded security even though he's no longer a working royal. And he whined that Catherine made some kind of face when she loaned Meghan some lip gloss. William and Catherine, of course, should have absolutely loved Meghan because they were fans of Suits, supposedly. And of course, Harry also had to take a dig at his older brother, talking about his baldness and saying that he was losing his mother's looks. The list goes on and on. You know what, though? In some ways, I hope that Meghan and Harry don't stop with their nonsense because you know it's going to result in big, catastrophic consequences, which I would enjoy seeing. They just can't help themselves. They can't stop the lying and the embarrassing narratives that give them the money they so desperately want. They really are lost. I mean, what else do they have other than whining? They are not a power couple at all. Meghan and Harry are not physically attractive. They're not super wealthy. They're not trying to save the planet. They don't even tell the truth. They're always having to backtrack. They own up to absolutely nothing. There is nothing substantial inside of them. They're not relevant either. So, what exactly do they have? Well, they have whatever they can create out of their lies and spite, but soon enough, that's going to dissipate. And then what will they be left with? Absolutely nothing. And you, what do you think about this news? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you think my video is useful, please remember to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it anytime you want. And don't forget to subscribe to Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel to get more updates from our team in the future. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, goodbye, and we'll be back to see you in the next videos.